Yo.
Yes,
Yo.
sir. Good morning, gentlemen.
That was insane. That was
Good
insane.
morning.
I could
Have
we
we
could literally
digested?
listen, man. I could literally spend this whole podcast just talking about the main event.
Just talking
Yeah.
about Max Holloway.
Like
Not the main
what
event.
a
Max Holloway. All right.
Yeah.
Max
Sorry, Mr.
Holloway
Italian. We don't talk about losers here.
finish.
Oh,
Listen, you gotta
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about my man. Gotta talk about my man Alessio.
Oh,
Oh
man.
man.
Let's do the
Listen, man.
chico. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Dana was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
He goes, you wouldn't think that they just want to fight.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. But I mean, thanks to him, I won $2. So, yeah.
Stole,
I bet $1
he stole the spotlight from
on
Max.
winning the upset, and he won. So,
Yeah, everybody wins, and then Rose is just like, Jim just won more money. Jim picked him. Jim picked him. Just like, you having a good night. Shit.
well, the co-main event, I lost that one because I had Matt Brown winning the fight, but I lost that bet. So, it's cool. Anyway, Holloway. Who wants to start it out?
Yo, listen, man. This
I
guy,
think Rose got to do it because Rose is still starstruck.
yo, most of the time when we're like watching like a UFC fight, it comes down to or just any fight in general. It's really gonna come down mostly to who has like the most skill and who's just the better fighter. Now, I thought Max was slightly the better fighter, but I didn't think he was like, man, like there's certain things that are just super iconic. There's certain moments, there's rare moments where you just see people like really get in the zone, like Max did. Like you have those rare moments, like Muhammad Ali in the past, like doing something like epic. So I feel honored just to be able to witness like that moment. Like there's a point where he was in that fight. He was bobbing and weaving without looking and lands.
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? That fight gave me
Talking
chills.
shit to DC.
Yo, listen, man. That fight gave me like so much chills. Like he boxed at a skill level that I've never seen him box at. He was just, oh man, I don't even know what to say, man. I was just speechless when I was watching that fight.
He was on.
It was literally like he was in the Matrix. Like you know when Neo like Matrix 1 when Neo gets to that point where he just
when
realizes
he first starts realizing he can like
who he
move
is.
and shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
Max
a really
got to
good
that
reference.
Max got to that point, and the thing is, like, what do you call it? Kelvin, you got to give Kelvin credit, right? Because like he went in there, like he was willing to die, because no one steps in. Like there was a few times where he looked like he was about to drop, and he just somehow like stayed up. Like the cage kept him up for like half that fight. So for him to be willing to die still wasn't enough. You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you're willing to die, you may actually die.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's kind of like Joe
Yeah.
Frazier versus Muhammad Ali. Like
Yeah.
Joe Frazier was willing to die on pretty much all of those fights, but you know there was one fight where his eye looked like it was about to pop out of his head.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's not enough. You know, when you're going against someone who's like literally on God mode.
And John was saying weeks ago, John, remember you said you wanted to see Holloway throw more kicks and mix it up more? We saw a complete Holloway last night. We saw Super Saiyan Max Holloway 2.0, Super Saiyan Blue. You know, we saw that last night. So incredible, man. Incredible.
Yeah, we saw the legs, we saw the takedowns. We saw a lot of shit from this cat yesterday, man. And the crazy thing was that the whole lead up to this fight, I kept telling you guys, my biggest worry was what I keep hearing about how he trained for this fight, his training camp. There was like very minimal physical contact. They weren't like drilling things the way they normally do, you know? And that's always a worry with MMA. Because with things like wrestling, jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, you gotta constantly be drilling because it doesn't matter how much you do it, it can leave, you know? Not forever, but you know, you need that drilling. And that was my only real concern. That was the only real reason I kept saying that Calvin Kattar has a chance. Calvin Kattar, I think, could potentially win only because it was that fuzziness about his training camp. And good God, whatever he did, he can't change it. Do that. Even when COVID is over, do that. Do what you just did. That was amazing. It was just like, and you brought it up yesterday. First off, that Matrix reference was brilliant. That was exactly what happened last night. He literally he was like, "Oh shit, I'm faster than everybody on this fucking earth," and he just started talking shit. He just started like, and he's telling him, he's like, "I'm the best boxer ever," because Calvin Kattar was saying, "I'm the veteran boxer. He's the freshman," and that's what made him do that. He was like,
The freshman
I'm the
came
best
to play.
boxer ever. Bing.
Yeah.
He said the freshman came to play.
It was incredible, and the fact he's talking to DC, he's not looking, he's bobbing and weaving like you said. I mean, if there's a way to say I don't give a fuck if I lost to this guy twice, I'm getting that next title shot. That's how you do it. That's exactly how you do it. And to your point about Kevin Kattar also is that I kept saying like during the third and definitely the fourth round, I was like, we can stop this fight right now. There's no reason this man needs to keep taking this punishment. And then every time I say that, Kattar, as he's blocking, comes and hits Holloway with this brick. And it's like, lest we forget, Holloway's a volume puncher. Calvin's a one-hitter quitter. Calvin can hit you with that one and bing, reset your clocks. So it's like, problem is, I don't think Max Holloway's clocks work anyways. His is like solar or something. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Like his chin is incredible. I mean, he took Dustin's punches as well. Hard shots from Dustin Poirier.
Crazy.
So Holloway's chin stood up for sure.
Because Dustin kind of did to him what he just did to Calvin Kattar. Dustin hits, bro. Like, holy shit. And then Dana keeps saying that when he went to 55, he realized, oh, maybe he's not that big. And I'm just like, bro, he can easily go back to 55, I think. He just has to stay there. He has to do what John Jones is doing. He needs to prep his body for that, you know? That was just a quick 155 fight, whatever. He said, let's try it out. But he tried it out against an assassin. And, you know, he learned a valuable lesson. You got hands, yeah, but these guys got bigger hands, you know?
Yeah, Max definitely looked good last night. I mean, I think he broke a record. I was reading something like it's either the most wins or the most consecutive wins without ever being knocked out.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that.
Most wins in the UFC never being knocked down.
Never being knocked out.
Knocked
also
down.
Also the most volume.
Yeah.
Also the most volume. Like ever, I think.
The most punches thrown in a fight, right?
Most significant strikes I think landed is his record. I think he has it in the UFC.
I think Kobe Covington broke that with Robbie Lawler.
That was one fight. That was one fight I'm talking about forever. Like,
oh no, he's had the most significant strikes in a fight. Yeah, he's had that record. Man, but last night I think he broke the record that Kobe Covington broke. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Max looked real good, man. I mean, he started off a lot quicker. I like the elbows he was throwing. You know what? Not everyone's going to like it, but I like when, you're kind of taunting the other opponent, like looking the other way, throwing that jab. He's fighting two fights at once. He's fighting DC and Kattar at the same time. That shit was entertaining. I mean, I got to say, I thought Kattar was going to not put him away, but Kattar, after getting hit 400 times in a round, he would throw an elbow or a pretty hard shot and hit Max. But that was a great fight. I mean, if that Max shows up against Volkanovski or Ortega, I think he's going to win.
And you gotta point out the fact that Kattar never really got a chance to get into any kind of rhythm. When you have a hellstorm coming at you for that long,
nonstop,
and that furiously. I mean, no matter how much heart you have, there's really nothing you could string together. Like you can't really string together a good run against a storm that's coming. Not only a storm, but like he entered the Matrix on top of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
a storm with a bunch of rocks inside of it, smacking you over and over again.
Yeah. What are you really gonna do about that?
He's overwhelming him.
Yeah, that was crazy. The thing is, Max is always great. The thing is, I strongly believe that there are moments where he enters the Matrix though. Like there's these key moments, like when he went against Brian Ortega, when he went against Aldo. The thing is, when he gets that momentum, it's crazy. So, but in this situation, what was unique is the fact that he got started super fast. I don't know. It's like he came in with something to prove.
Right.
So he started his own momentum, like faster than he's ever done it. Because I believe he's like a momentum fighter, similar to like Tony Ferguson. So he got his momentum started faster, and then we
Yeah.
saw
Yeah.
like we saw that glow for a longer period of time. Like that was
And
insane.
also too, he mixed it up the most as well. Like the kicks to the body, the leg kicks, you know, the shots to the body as well. The
Oh
head
my
kick he
God.
landed, he
Yo,
he was killing. He broke him down, body, head, legs.
body
He broke
head, bro.
everything
That's
down.
just crazy.
Oh man, that was scary, man. Like seeing him that good is scary because he's still very young in the game. If he keeps this mentality, and also too, you know, with the not sparring, that might also add to his longevity in the sport because a lot of people spar heavy and take damage to the head. So if he keeps this going on, he could be a 2 division champion for sure, for sure. You know, as far as him versus Khabib, I'm not sure. You know, I want to see that, but it'll be interesting to entertain, I guess. But yeah,
I mean, and you guys forgot to mention the fact that there were at least 2 segments of the fight where he threw like a 50-piece combination.
yeah,
And
Oh,
that, and
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, that was in like one round where he threw like where he threw like 2 separate 50 pieces. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Or and then I forgot the second round when he almost stopped him, like when he I felt like he kind of got saved by the bell. That was like a long combination too.
Yep.
So
It was.
man,
Kelvin was like there was a point when he was defending, but he was almost he was damn near dead. He was still like doing haymakers, like off of just like spirit alone.
he's
You
a
gotta do
He's
dog.
getting
something.
tagged up, and he's
Yeah, you
doing
gotta do
Kelvin's a dog.
haymakers, you know, across against the cage.
Kelvin's a dog. I mentioned my 3 favorite featherweights are Max, Kelvin, and Korean Zombie. So like Kelvin is one of my favorites for that reason. He's such a dog. Like he's he's not gonna back down from anyone or any type of situation. You could see that at in the beginning of that 5th round that he still wanted it. Like he was pretty much half dead. He was he was half dead, and you could see the desire in his eyes still in that 5th round. So it's not like he didn't come like willing to die. It's just that he might have if that would have went any longer probably.
Yeah.
I could have seen
Yeah.
3 more rounds of Max just piecing him up. To be honest, I think Max had the cardio, just literally just Max cleaning his clock. 50, 60
you guys watch-
combos.
Did you guys watch the post-fight interview like with Max?
Yeah.
Max was saying how he was like, damn, I don't know why I'm so tired. And then like Max,
Oh
Max,
yeah.
like he was like, I don't know why
Yeah.
I'm so tired. And then when his coach, I mean, he finds out that he threw like over 700 punches.
He was like, I broke some record there, and I was like, I guess that's why I'm tired.
Dude, but what's scary, but this is what you gotta look at. What's scary about that? Even though he's tired and he threw all those punches, he threw a record-setting punches, it still didn't look like he was tired. So he can
Yeah.
also has a second tank, which is the tank of desire. Like you understand what I'm saying? The tank of like will, like a will and desire, which goes past like the cardio level. You understand what I'm saying? Like it goes past like the normal cardio level. So like it didn't look like he was tired to you, like in that
Yeah.
5th round.
The
It looked
only
like
part,
Nah.
the only part in that fight that I felt that he looked like he had nothing left, but then obviously he comes back next round as if he had a day off. And but it was at the end of, was it round 2?
The 4th round.
We were
The
saying
4th
that no, it was early on was it the 4th round? No,
It was the
because
4th
it was when I was saying that the ref might come in and stop it because he just did not stop to the point where you see like
That's what I'm saying.
he's just tapping him because he had nothing left, but he's just not gonna stop.
That was the
trying to
4th
hit
round.
him.
That was the 4th round. I know that because that was where he threw 2 separate like 40 or 50 pieces, and like where he wanted that finish so bad. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I believe he was a little worn out, like at the end of that, and then somehow that's what I'm saying. He has a separate fuel. He has a separate like fuel tank, like for like it's just I don't know, the dog fuel tank. I don't know.
The dog tank.
So here's the perfect roadmap. Volkanovski wins, right? Everybody's talking shit, right? Max Holloway beats Volkanovski, fights Henry Cejudo. for the featherweight gold belt.
I'd watch that.
Henry Cejudo.
that'll be interesting.
You
'Cause
guys,
if Volkanovski wins, Henry Cejudo's gonna be talking wild shit to him, like he's always
Yeah.
been. And then Max Holloway could just jump in and be like, "Hey, I'll give you some sauce when I'm done with him, whatever." And imagine Max Holloway beats Volkanovski. That'll be a way to get fucking Cejudo to come back to fight Holloway for the belt. That's a much bigger name, and that's what
I'd watch
Cejudo
that.
wants. He wants the name and the money. Cejudo versus Holloway.
Great fight.
Talk about a David and Goliath kind of deal,
he'll
Nah,
need to
that
stand
is-
on a stool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is getting a lie.
Someone gets that man a
Interesting,
stool to
man.
stand on.
And I will, as much as if all this happens, and I'll say like Holloway is pretty much unstoppable now. You cannot count out Cejudo.
You can't. Yeah, you
You
can't.
can't.
That man is insane. That would be
But-
interesting.
But I mean, now versus as far as Brian Ortega goes, the Brian Ortega we saw in the last fight versus Korean Zombie, do you think that Volkanovski is going to be able to beat that? Now, not saying that he, like Volkanovski is an animal. Obviously, he beat Holloway twice, but the Ortega that we saw last time is probably the best Ortega we've ever seen, and he might be even better now. So, it's no certain bet that he's gonna lose to Alexander.
I feel like, okay, here's the thing, right? So I feel like between Ortega and Volkanovski, it's going to be a good striking exchange, but I think Volkanovski has the edge on that. But Volkanovski does like to mix things up. So if he does any kind of like takedown attempts, like that could be a really bad night for him. You know what I'm saying? Like Ortega is also like a lot better at the striking than he was when he fought Max. So I think that's a very interesting matchup. There's really no given like on either side, like who's gonna win. To me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's anyone's fight. I mean, if I were Volkanovski, if I was his coaches, I would tell him, don't go to the ground even once. Just sit there and exchange with him for 5 rounds. And I think he'll edge out the win.
Yeah, edge out. Yeah, exactly.
Well, did you guys hear did you hear that second call out by Max? For DC, he was. What did he say? They were interviewing him, and he's like, "Yo, DC." He goes, "You're eating everything I work for."
Yeah.
I was cracking up.
Yo, I said it last night. I want a charity event, DC versus Holloway.
Oh
I want
man,
it so bad.
DC at 400 pounds.
For real.
I'd watch that. That
And Holloway still cuts
pay-per-view.
weight just for the fuck of it so he can be Mexican.
Yeah, he cuts to 145.
All right. So next fight, Carlos Condit versus Matt Brown. Do we talk about that fight?
Born killer.
Yeah.
You absolutely gonna talk about this fight.
All right.
You talking about John's favorite fighter at one point, okay? Now, I'm gonna be real. I mean, going into this fight, I haven't I don't want to say the word care. I'm a Carlos Condit fan, and obviously we all love Matt Brown. But we love Matt Brown for the same reason we love people like Donna Cerrone. We just know that they're gonna piece some people up, but they're not. But they're always gonna be fun. And Matt Brown always looks like he hates you in the cage, so it's like it's gonna be fun. But Condit was like one of the most marketable figures in his time. He's a good-looking cat. He's got this strange, deep voice that does not match his body, and he was a killer. But he had that Achilles heel in MMA. He had no takedown defense, and he kind of still doesn't. So even if he wants to make a second run, he's in the welterweight division. You don't have takedown defense in the welterweight division. You might as well just go home. So he did show that sweep that he did, man. All these nice takedowns.
Yeah.
They were gorgeous. I'd never seen him like that, So he did show some promise to make a little fun run. We won't call it a championship run. But does he still have enough in him to just be fun in the welterweight division right now to scare people a little bit? I think so.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he fought more aggressive than his last few fights.
100%.
So which is why I'm like, oh crap, because honestly, when I bet on Matt Brown, I thought that Carlos was gonna be a little more reserved, a little more, on the back foot. But when I saw he was stuffing takedowns, and I'm like, oh crap, like Matt Brown might be in trouble here. Carlos was doing a lot of strikes. Second round, he piecing him up. I'm like, yeah, legit for sure.
I forgot in the interview he had I don't know if it was comfort was the term because they had asked him about it, whatever, and he was like, that was the perfect word because he was like the last couple of fights he hasn't felt comfortable because he had to come back and he wasn't really in there. But Matt Brown, like he said, was somebody not only we all have, but he's been dying to fight too. So since they finally got it done, he was in it. Like he wanted that fight. He wanted that shit. He wanted to get into the nitty gritty with him. So
yeah.
I'm glad. I hope it opened him up. I hope, even the press conference, he sounded great. He sounded like articulate. He didn't sound super excited or super bummed. He sounded like he was just like he was in it. Like he feels like he's ready for the next one, which is a good place to be with a man like Carlos Condit. And hopefully, like I said, every day, get your cousins, your grandma in it. Anywhere you are, if you're in a supermarket, have somebody tackle you and stuff that takedown constantly. Like Ronda Rousey said, her mom used to wake her up armbarring her. Somebody needs to be taking down Carlos Condit everywhere he goes. Just troll the shit out of his ass. Make him stuff takedowns. Because if he can get that one part of his game down, even to a point where he's not a wrestler, but like Izzy is. Izzy's not a wrestler, but Izzy understands the concept of balance and holding yourself up when somebody's trying to, and weight distribution when somebody's trying to take you down. He can get that concept down to a subconscious state. That's a scary motherfucker right there.
Yeah, I think that was the perfect two guys from like the Robbie Lawler GSP era that you can match up today. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's crazy because like when we look at people like match up like Shogun and who did he fight recently? Shogun and Nogueira. You're like, man, these are two fossils. You know what I'm saying? But when you but then when you think about it, when you're watching Carlos Condit and Matt Brown, you're kind of saying, damn, even these dudes like are up there. Like they've been around for a minute. But so it was kind of refreshing to see two people from older era still like like show up and show out like they did.
You see,
like I just want to
say the difference between those two just specifically is that Shogun and Nogueira look like they should be in like a facility for older folk, where Carlos Condit looks like he belongs there, Matt Brown looks a little on the edge, but Carlos Condit looks like he belongs there. Whereas Shogun, has had like 99 surgeries, and Nogueira looks like someone's punching bag, like they took a punching bag from the gym and made it alive, and he's a
like
fighter.
Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw
I love
Massacre.
Nogueira. I am a huge Nogueira fan. His whole career, but them dudes like are relics. They're fossils, like you said. Carlos Condit not so much. Carlos Condit is just an older dog.
Yeah,
I feel like if Carlos stayed more consistent, like because think about it, like Max is pretty old as well. Is pretty old in MMA years as well because he's been around for a minute. Dustin, all of them, but like if what's his name, Carlos stayed consistently fighting like for all that time, I think he would be like he'd be right up there because Wonder Boy, look at Wonder Boy with these new killers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Carlos Condit is definitely talented enough to be able to hang in there with the top guys. Like based on his skill. So
that's why I told you he has that. If he could fix that one Achilles heel, if he can really understand the concept of stuffing a real takedown. When I say a takedown from a man like Kamaru Usman, that's something that that's the type of mentality to be on. Fuck everybody else. He should train to stop Usman from taking him down.
Right.
He needs people like that with Usman's strength and understanding level change and knowing when to lift and when to push down. And that's unconscious for him. Usman doesn't need to think about that because he's been doing it his entire life. He can do it to any man alive. So it's a different when a person grabs you and then right there they're listening to their coaches and their coach is like, all right, lift them up. And they're trying to figure out what to do. Usman doesn't need to do that. He's gonna grab you and his body already knows what to do once he has you, and it's over. So, and he's in the King Usman's division. So that's
you guys are crazy if you think Carlos Condit can crack anyone in the top 10. I think he gets completely murked by almost everyone in the welterweight division. Usman destroys him. Colby Covington destroys him. Gilbert Burns destroys him. Even Michael Chiesa, who's ranked number 8, I think, his takedowns destroys and submits him. Masvidal, I still think fucks him up. Wonder Boy fucks him up. Honestly, I think the only shot he might have at the top 10 in welterweight is Tyron Woodley.
Ooh. What about
which would be a good matchup?
Similar storylines, kind of. What about him versus Wonder Boy?
Oh my God, Wonder Boy will light him up, bro.
But wouldn't that be a great fight though?
No, it will be fun. It will be fun.
They both like stand up. None of them like taking each other down. That's a striker's dream right there.
And both of them,
Carlos Condit, that tactical dog, and Wonder Boy is that perfect technician. Yeah. That's a good fight. Two guys on the older end, but on the rise.
Yeah, but I think Wonder Boy has proven that he should be able to. I think Wonder Boy deserves to fight somebody in the top 5 next. I think he deserves that.
Agree.
Yeah,
I agree. It's career-wise, it's like a bad fight for Wonder Boy in a sense because he doesn't need it. I'm just saying, depending on how the welterweight scope looks, because you think any of the top 5 guys are going to want to fight Wonder Boy right now? They all think that their stock is up and they shit don't stink. Covington is not going to fight him. Masvidal is not going to fight him. Burns already got to fight with Usman.
Woodley actually makes sense.
That's a terrible. Woodley needs to take like 2 years off, move to Thailand or some shit.
He'll be 50.
And then I'm listen.
He'll be geriatric by then.
I've been a major Woodley fan to the point where I have his music on my phone. I listen to it at the gym. I love that man. But as a fan of him, I'm telling you, he don't have it right now. He don't. He doesn't deserve Wonder Boy. Let's throw it that way. The way Wonder Boy deserves more than Condit.
I agree.
Woodley does not.
No, that's what I'm talking about. No. We're talking about. Chris had mentioned Condit and Woodley.
Yeah. Oh, you meant Condit versus Woodley?
Yeah,
Condit versus Woodley. But you know what the
wasn't
problem
Woodley
is?
the one that broke his leg?
No, it was. But let's see what would happen now, though.
I don't want him to break his leg again.
I think Carlos Condit is ready for this. I think he's ranked number 25 at welterweight. And Woodley's 5. So I don't even know. That's almost not fair to Woodley, even though Woodley, he's got to do something different. Like maybe not lose.
All right. Next fight.
Jem is like, I don't care anymore. Let's go.
Really, yeah. Ponzinibbio versus Zhang Lang. So
Jingling.
I don't want to talk about Jingling.
No, the Leech, man, this guy's my favorite. Him on top of the cage screaming his own damn name was the best part of last night's card. I mean, the hype train's derailed. I'm sorry. Ponzinibbio's like 34 injuries. The Leech will suck the remaining life out of you and send you to Bellator. That's it. That's my take, by the way.
Well, listen.
Oh my God.
The reason why I bet on Leach, the moment I heard the fight was being booked is because I know stylistically the Leach is a dog. Like he's never been an easy outing for anyone. And also knowing that Ponzinibbio has been injured a lot, I wasn't sure how he would come back in his first fight. So I figured that favored the Leach. You know what I mean? But Ponzinibbio looked like he really didn't get it started really. Kind of nervous, kind of like, I don't know, ring rust, whatever you call that, but he seemed like he wasn't really there 100%.
Here's the thing. The Leech, what was different about the Leech from other times that he's fought is that he kept moving. So Ponzinibbio was never really able to get a beat on him. It's kind of like Andrade, right? Andrade, you can't get a beat on her now because she uses a lot of head movement now that she wasn't using before. So Ponzinibbio had that puzzle that he wasn't anticipating. So I think that's why he didn't get a chance to really get started. And the Leech is also a dog. So the Leech knew what, he's also a dog. So he knew what he had, and then you mix that together with the fact that Ponzinibbio had some ring rust or whatever. Yeah, it was just a bad night.
I'm going to say this, I'm going to keep it short, is that Ponzinibbio was my guy. I told you at one point I thought he could have been the champion. And he lost to the guy that calls my cell phone like 10 times a day. And I'm not happy about it. And I'm going to leave it at that.
2021, the Leech, future champ.
When he was yelling his name out, the Leech.
That was the best, man. That got me so hyped.
The leech. Oh my god.
Imagine getting knocked the fuck out, and that's what you wake up hearing.
Yo, what was that about? Like he knocked him down, and immediately he was standing over. That was funny. He was laying over him.
Oh yeah.
analyzing him like a surgeon. Like
that was hilarious, man.
He was looking for the artery. That's what he was looking for.
Yo,
he was
got
one
the
Yoel
Romero vibes. Yo.
Yeah, he was one kiss away from being a Cuban.
How do you say "I love you" in Chinese? He was, I love you. Oh, that was weird, man.
Soon.
No, forget Jesus.
oh my god,
man.
that was amazing.
We also had Buckley become someone else's highlight reel. That was interesting.
That was hard to watch.
That was bad, man.
But I
The
knew
way
that,
his body bent back. Yikes.
But I knew that guy. I knew that guy was no joke, though. No. That guy, the leech, he was on another level. That's all I got to say about that.
Yo.
Ay. Can we really though? Like, can we shed some light on this? The Chirico guy. Like, what do you think that was about? This whole statement he's trying to make about not interviewing losers.
Well, personally, I think because he lost a few times and he felt like the shame or whatever. He feels like he wants even the losers to get more respect. Now, the argument is weird because if someone's getting KO'd, like, why would you want to interview them immediately afterwards? To me, that wouldn't make any sense logically.
Agreed.
So,
like they did with Calvin Kattar, and we couldn't understand a goddamn word he said.
Oh,
yeah.
Forgot about that. Yeah, they put the mic up to Calvin Kattar, and I thought I heard like Serbian coming out of his mouth.
Yo.
I don't know what that was.
That was nothing. Got nothing.
That was almost sad.
It was bad.
But that Italian guy, he came off real unlikable. I mean, as a fellow Italian myself, I'm ashamed of his behavior.
Wait. What weight class is that again? That's middleweight, right?
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, I hate to say it, but that guy, has a bright future in the middleweight division.
Yeah, he's a warrior elf. He's a warrior elf.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is gonna be a every time thing for him. I think this was just this one time he wanted to make this claim, like when Woodley did the Black Lives Matter thing. I just think it was just at the time he felt that that's what he should do.
Yeah.
Granted, even though Woodley looked like an idiot, there was a premise as to why he was doing it at the time. There's a lot of Trumpies in UFC, and he wanted to make his own little statement. It made sense. This doesn't make sense at all. It's just. We get it, but there's a time and place, and you're choosing when you just got an incredible win, when you could be calling people out, you could be saying my training is on the next level, this and that. You say, it's not fair, you don't interview losers. Like, the fuck? And then you have the president, your boss, talking about that he went by to congratulate you, and you guys looked at him like he was an asshole.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro?
That's how you get a one-way ticket to Bellator.
I was just about to say that. That's how you get cut. Because he already doesn't have a great personality. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna just let your fights do the talking, at least be cooperative.
Yeah.
He keeps saying to the fans, I love all of you. I love you so much. But I'm not going to talk to any of you because they don't want to interview the guy I just knocked out. Like, shut your ass up.
Yeah, it's not logical.
And the stupid thing about it is, normally in main events, but they do in other fights, if it was like a close fight or something, they do interview the loser. But why? There's no real reason to interview a loser. It takes more time out of the event, and two is just like, what are you going to talk about? Like, I don't understand. Especially if it was a finish, Granted, if it's a submission finish, it'll be cool to hear. But the loser's not going to want to like break down how they lost and nothing like that. They're going to give excuses and stuff like that, which is fine for them, but for the promotion, doesn't really make sense. The promotion and competing is about winning. Period.
Yeah.
Winning isn't everything, and we know that from sports movies. I get it. But competing is about winning. You don't get into the UFC to lose. You get in there to win. So
Yeah.
that's why they interview winners.
The thing is, I felt bad for Buckley because every time I see him fight, all I could think about is like Walgreens. So like,
This
so
guy
like
Said it
that's
right
all I could.
before.
That's all I
Oh,
could think
man.
about.
You said
all
it
I
right
could think
before he
about
got
is
knocked
Walgreens.
out.
Yeah.
Right before he got knocked out, you're like, damn, I hope he wins and doesn't have to go back to head kick. You made me real sad there, man.
Yeah, that bothered me.
But at the same time, you gotta continue.
Yeah, but Max just wiped away all that sadness. Like I woke up in bliss this morning.
Honestly, I actually believe this is a learning experience for Buckley. I think that he kind of, not saying that he fights too aggressive, but sometimes he has to be a little more cautious. You know how he enters his attack. You know what I mean? Even versus Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland countered him beautifully, and you can see this guy was setting up a head kick from the beginning. You can tell how he was evading and setting it up. He was trying to get Buckley to kind of duck his head to catch him. So Buckley, to me, this is a time for him where we're gonna see, is he really a superstar? Is he gonna keep losing from this moment, or is he gonna somehow regroup and become better from this? So this
Is he gonna humble
the vital
himself?
moment. Yeah.
Or is he's gonna feel this wave and stopped, and now he doesn't have the clout?
Yeah.
You know, are you a clout chaser? Or are you an MMA fighter? This is where you find out, right here.
Right. So the one thing we do know is that James Cross is somewhere like dancing and eating ice cream and celebrating.
I cannot believe I haven't heard anything about him. I thought he was gonna talk wild shit today. I thought his Twitter was just gonna be back to back Buckley shit. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, I think
nuts.
he's a bit of a. I think he's still a bit of a brute, and if he doesn't like get a hold of that like early, then he could turn into like a Mike Perry type, like where it's like you're a savage in training, but before you get the chance to develop that savage, like you lose all your brain cells. So I hope he gets into like some kind of real camp, the American Top Team, one of these places.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like when I watch him, like his style of fighting and like his build and the potential, I feel like DC would be a good mentor for him. Get that core ground game, and like he would help him tremendously, man. DC needs to be around Carlos Condit, just like taking him down left and right. And DC would be the guy to do it. That'd be so funny, bro. Just like MMA memes out of nowhere, like Carlos Condit's with his family in the supermarket, like, honey, can you get that for me? He's gonna go to the top shelf and boom! DC gonna go out of nowhere and just
yeah, that's what DC did. That's what DC always does when he sees wrestlers. Like I was looking at it. Yes. So like when he met Hamzat for the first time, he started trying to wrestle him.
Yeah.
and then Hamzat just took the challenge like right away. Like I love that.
I love that. He does it with Khabib all the time. Khabib says it. Like he's the most annoying guy at the gym because he's so bothering. I love it. I would love
Hamzat to be on AKA to be Khabib 2.0 on in that gym. Oh man, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
Because I love AKA.
Whatever Hamzat's doing, he's good. Let's see how far I can take him. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I just love AKA. Huh?
Oh yeah. Who doesn't? Yeah, it's a great gym.
But now, speaking of Khabib, so Khabib's statement. Khabib's statement. So let's discuss that statement. Do you believe that Khabib actually is willing to come back and fight?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So who 100%. Do you feel right now? Who would you predict is going to be his next fight?
To say right now would be impossible. But like, if the question is, do you really think he's serious or whatever the case may be, he wouldn't have said. Khabib is not a game player like that. Not publicly. He wouldn't say publicly. He wouldn't say to Dana White, knowing Dana White's going to tell the public, and then not try to fight.
Gotcha.
Why I think he's saying that is that we all know he doesn't want to fight Conor again. I don't think he does. I really don't think he wants to deal with that. So if Conor would have starched Dustin, Dana is getting hard thinking about the fact that he's going to do it. I think Khabib is going to be like, I already fought him. I don't give a fuck. You can give whoever you want the title. I'm out. I think he either wants Oliveira. He wouldn't. I don't think he'd mind fighting Dustin again. or maybe Michael Chandler or something like that if he
Right,
were to
yeah.
win. So that these things intrigue him because Khabib doesn't want to do any rematches. He's bored with that. He wants a new challenge. I told you guys from the start, and even Dana White kind of was hinting at the press conference where Oliveira, Khabib really likes what he's seeing from Oliveira, and I told you that should be his next fight. Oliveira deserves it, and Oliveira is a good candidate for him too. Oliveira is good everywhere.
So I agree that Oliveira is the most likely next opponent for Khabib if he comes back, because Oliveira is basically the new Tony. Like, he has a crazy winning streak. He has that insane jiu-jitsu. That's going to be a threat for Khabib from the bottom, and he has, like, honestly, he's more technical and more of a sound striker than Tony Ferguson at the moment. So I think that's probably more, but I mean, let's see if Oliveira might end up fighting Gaethje. So maybe he'll wait till Oliveira fights Gaethje and sees what happens with that. My second that most likely to fight Khabib, I would say, would be Conor. If Conor is able to beat Dustin Poirier, like, within, like, the first 2 minutes, I'll say, like, the first 2 minutes. If he could do that in the first 2 minutes and look impressive, then
and what he says
Khabib,
on the mic after.
Right.
Yeah.
What Conor says on the mic after. He has to say the right things that Khabib wants to hear. He could get it.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to be respectful.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I say the right things.
Yeah.
If he comes out and says that little rat and fucking Abdullah sleeves,
he's
he's gonna be like, I'm not dealing with this again.
Right.
But if he says, like, we dealt with a lot, this and that, you want competition, this is where it's at.
Yeah.
You want to see the real Conor, come back and if he says something like that, Khabib is gonna be like, ooh, this sounds nice. But you got to talk to Khabib the way Khabib wants to be spoken to. He's the king. Conor's the king in his own respect, but he's the king of the division. And you gotta, if you want that belt, if you want that chance against a guy who fucking despises you, you got to work your way back in.
Yeah.
If Conor's got to be smart on that mic, and I hope his team is telling him that.
Fair play, Khabib. Shout out to your father, but the fight is right here, brother.
Yeah. Mention the COVID, mention, we've all lost people, listen to that, just say this and that. And Khabib went through it. Me and him have had our differences. I don't like the guy, but I respect what he had to go through. And it's like, but you didn't fight the real me.
Yeah.
You didn't fight the real me. You fought a guy who just who didn't give a shit. He's like, come see this Conor. Say it right there. You want to come back, you know what you're coming back to. He's like, it's either me for the belt or take your ass back home. And that's it. Like, say the right things to Khabib. He might come back for you.
So I think there's 3 potential matchups for Khabib. I think if Conor wins even a boring decision against Poirier, he's automatically getting the title shot. He's Conor McGregor. He's gonna
try to make it happen no matter what.
He's gonna get it. It doesn't matter if it's boring. You know what I mean? But I think if Dustin wins maybe a boring decision, and let's just say Michael Chandler, knocks what's his name, Hooker, the fuck out, he might get the next title shot. But I also think that if, let's just say, Dustin wins a boring decision and Hooker Chandler is not a good fight, I think that might be a good argument for Oliveira getting the fight, and I could see that happening. But if Conor wins, you guys think he's going to be respectful? I think he's going to say some low-key disrespectful
I don't
shit.
think he's going to be disrespectful. I said that's what he needs to do.
I think he's going to say some wild shit. If he wins, wild shit's going to come out of his mouth, and he's going to try and generate the hype for that next fight.
I do too. I agree. No. And the reason is so hard for me with Oliveira because it's like everybody's like, if Conor beats Dustin, and it's easy to say that he deserves the title shot. And I'm like, I would argue what Oliveira did to Tony Ferguson is more paramount than what Conor's going to do to Dustin. Yeah. Because in a lot of people's minds, including my own, Conor should do that to Dustin again. That's expected of Conor because we all know his striking is magical next level. He should do that to Dustin again. Dustin's a different fighter. We all know that. But it shouldn't change anything because they're both different fighters, That Conor's expected. What Oliveira did to the man that Khabib has said he needs for his legacy, what Oliveira did to that man is arguably more important than whatever Conor's going to do to Dustin.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's the fight to make, Oliveira Khabib. But I think that Khabib might entertain Connor or Chandler, like y'all said. You know, if Chandler knocks out Hooker, Khabib might fight him too. But
I don't think he'll take. I think your point right there. What could
Yeah.
happen is that Dana's gonna do everything in his power. Everything in his power. He'll be like, what do you need? Your family all wants Rolls Royces? Cool, I'll buy them all. Just take Connor, please. He'll do whatever it takes to get the Connor fight going. And then Khabib will be like, all right, whoever win the Dan Hooker Chandler fight, he'll be like, all right, you fight Oliveira and I'll stay for you. I'll fight the winner of that. That could be interesting, you know?
Interesting.
That could work also. I'd be fine with that. Only
Yeah.
because of who Conor McGregor is, I'd be
Yeah.
fine with that. As long as Oliveira somehow is getting the next shot or the number one contender immediately. Like, it has to happen.
Yeah. But overall, I don't feel like Poirier has a chance of getting the fight with Khabib right now or Dan Hooker. So, yeah.
Yeah,
We
because
love Dustin, but
like the way I feel about that whole thing is I feel like, you know, I felt for a long time, for years, that we were robbed of the most mystical matchup in the lightweight division, which was Tony Ferguson and Khabib. So now it's like Oliveira emerging the way he has is like a gift from the MMA gods. It's because he's like the Tony matchup that we never got to have. So that's why I would love to see them matched up.
I completely agree, bro. Because he's got unorthodox striking too. He's tactical, but he's super unorthodox. He can't
very unorthodox.
And there's always that fear. Yeah, take me down. Because there's that fear. It's like once them legs go up and start locking you in, and he's always shifting and moving, it's just like, fuck. He is a nightmare for anyone on the ground. Anyone. You know, it's just I've loved this fool. I've been talking about him on this podcast since day one. He deserves, in my opinion. I understand as far as clout, he's not the guy. But if you're talking about who should get Khabib next, it's Oliveira. It needs to happen.
Yep. And keep in mind, Khabib has been caught like in a guillotine from Dustin Poirier. He's been threatened by a guillotine. You know, that was a pretty tight guillotine. So that means that Oliveira could potentially be more of a threat from the bottom.
Imagine that was Oliveira holding that shit. That's that Usman shit where as Dustin had it and he's trying to think, what can I do? Oliveira wouldn't think. His body's gonna vacuum him in there and it's over. You know? That's all subconscious for Oliveira. That's nothing to him. That's God. I love that matchup, man. I love it. That's like one of the highest level of mixed martial arts matchups right there. Like
because at the end of the day, like Khabib versus any of these other guys is still kind of like a striker versus wrestler type of situation. You know,
not so much with like guys like Chandler. Chandler mixes up really, really well.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he deserves Khabib by any means. I'm just saying he mixes up really well.
I feel like Chandler still, like when I watch him fight, most of the time it's still a striking fight. Like for the majority of the fight,
100% he prefers it. Yeah,
you know, kind of like Justin Gaethje is a All-American, but you know he chooses to strike mainly.
Yeah. If Gaethje couldn't do it, Chandler's probably not gonna do it. That's a great reference.
But now, what a rocking moment it would be for Chandler to just emerge and just like chaos could be. Just like comes out of nowhere.
That'd be crazy.
I mean, GSP got his moment, you know, with Matt Sarah, so it can happen, and sometimes.
Well, that's a kind of a bad reference because GSP was expected to beat Matt Sarah at the time.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes it's the person you don't really expect to kind of, you know, have that game plan. So yeah. That'll be.
I agree. Chandler is that good. I don't hate on that man. He is that good. It just depends on, you know, it's the UFC jitters, you know. He's got a tough test ahead of him right now.
Yeah.
Because Hooker's no joke. But Hooker's another one I also don't see giving Khabib any problems. I'll be real. Yeah. I think Khabib handles him. I'm gonna smash your face in.
Oh yeah, I got a question for y'all. What is you guys ideal situation? Like, would you want? I mean, okay, ideal situation in terms of like, would you like to see Khabib end up 30-0, or would you like to see someone like Conor actually come back and beat him, or Oliveira have a good story, like keep his streak going and submit Khabib? Like, what would be like the most ideal situation
That's easy for me.
Yeah.
That's easy for me. The only fight I want to see Khabib come back for is Oliveira. I'm gonna be real.
No. What's the ideal ending of that whole thing? Like ending of that saga. Like, would you want to see Khabib actually get 30-0? Would you want to see Oliveira get a submission on Khabib? Would you want to see Conor like
All
knock
right,
out
but you're asking
Khabib?
different questions here.
Yes,
Are you saying, do I want Khabib to come back? Yes.
No.
I want him to
What
come
I'm
back
asking,
for another fight.
yeah, absolutely. Like, I know you want him to come back for another fight. What I'm saying is, if he does come back, what would be like the ideal ending
The ending
for his
okay.
career?
My
for
ideal
you?
ending.
Yeah.
My ideal ending is
Yeah.
he comes back, he immediately fights Oliveira.
Mm-hmm.
Conor beats Dustin, fights the winner of Dan Hooker and Chandler, and the winner of that fights Khabib for his last fight, and he goes 31-0. That's my ideal ending.
Okay.
So
Now-
I think because if Conor whoops Dustin
Mhm.
and then beats either Chandler or Hooker after that handily, then I think Khabib has enough to say I'll fight this guy again, because Conor will show that he's willing to put in the work again to deserve Khabib again. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much money you make the company. You got to deserve the champion, especially a man like Khabib. And I think he just has to prove that to Khabib. That's like Khabib was saying. You know how many fights this man has to win for me to even look at him again? You know, like after all that shit you talked, and Conor should humble himself, because you want that belt. I know you want that fight. I know you do. Earn it, nigga. You know, you did good with Cerrone, but again, you were supposed to. This Dustin fight is a really good fight for you. As long as Dustin does not come in fogged up with the first fight and scared about that quick start, whatever, and he comes in as Dustin, and simple as that. Come as the Dustin that fought Max Holloway. Come with that great boxing mentality and go in. You got it. You can do this, you know? And but if Conor starches it, I want Conor to fight another number one contender, another top contender. And the winner of that will get Khabib for his last and final fight. I don't want Khabib to come back for just one fight.
So basically,
Khabib come back for 30-0 is kind of like,
So basically, okay, so basically you want Khabib to end up undefeated.
I'm saying you're asking what's the ideal for Khabib. I feel like that's the idea.
No. That was the question. No, my question was, how do you want Khabib's career to end? Like, do you want him to end undefeated, or would you like to see like one of these guys? Like,
I got you right now. I got you. So I'm speaking for Khabib. As a fan of Khabib, exactly what I said. As me, what I want to see, I want Conor to beat his ass. I'm not Conor. I don't give a fuck.
Got it. There's the answer.
I'm Conor McGregor all day, boy. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
there's the answer. Okay.
So for me, I would like to see Khabib fight Oliveira. Oliveira gets the upset win, gets the belt. Khabib retires. Why?
Wow.
Because now you know now
I like that. I like where he's
now,
going.
hear me out. I'm actually a huge Khabib fan, but I think that this moment means more to Oliveira. Khabib is at top of the mountain already. He's already rich. He's already seen it all. He's already been champion. So I feel like even if Khabib loses, it won't devastate him. You know what I mean? But Oliveira has all to gain from this moment, if you think about it, you know?
100%.
So yeah.
100%.
Okay.
I like it.
What about you,
I like
Chris?
it.
So I want to see Conor beat Dustin, and then he gets a title shot against Khabib. I want to see Conor starch him in the first round, go up to his dead body, give him a Yoel Romero kiss. And then that's round one. Round two, Conor's got to fight all of Khabib's cousins, just like we saw the last time in the octagon. That's it. And then I want to see the rematch, which will be the biggest pay-per-view event in the world. That's my favorite timeline.
He said fight all his cousins.
Okay.
Weapons or no weapons? So we do swords and shields.
You could put some dollies in there, some sabers,
some dollies.
knives. I want it all in there, like a gladiator match.
You know, that's interesting though. That is interesting. Like, if Conor beats, Khabib, and like Conor keeps going because of the aggression from the last situation, and it's a huge debacle again, the trilogy will be insane.
But you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Say Conor beats Dustin and Conor gets Khabib. If Conor beats Khabib, let's just say immediately right there, you know his next fight is Manny Pacquiao.
Oh,
They've
yeah,
been
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about it,
Yeah.
and it's gonna happen again. Dana knows it. If Conor beats Khabib, the division is gonna be held up again, and it's kind of over for that. That's why I'm saying, like, if Conor puts in the work, at least gets one more fight. At least we get a little bit more until, like I said, my idea is that, like, then he comes and beats Khabib. That'll be epic, beautiful, and a good fight, not like a starch. I want a good fight between them. I want to see Conor get tested. I want to see him pass some tests. Show us what this new Conor is about. Like, not just fucking 2-second Donald Cerrone fights. I want to see Conor get tested. I want to see Dustin piece him up and him come back. Like, I want to see Conor get real tested. I want to see the champion in him, because no matter how many belts he's won, he's never in his life defended one. And you're not a champion until you defend that belt.
And if he beats Khabib, it's like defending and winning the belt at the same time, because that covers a lot of ground, because since Khabib is the best lightweight of all time, so it covers like every ground for like, that's probably
I disagree.
Listen, man, that's probably like beating Khabib is probably like the best title win of all time.
Because think about it. You know how hard the next fight is going to be off the high of beating Khabib? Like, that fight is even more intriguing, because now in your mind, you king dingaling because you beat Khabib, the fucking eagle, the bear. So now after that, how are you going to come in? You're going to come in too cocky. You're going to come in like this and that. Like, that next fight is even more intriguing after that, because now you got to be riding a fucking high. And people who are not riding a high like that turn out like Joaquin Buckley last night. So,
I think
you got to defend that belt. You got to defend the belt.
I think the difference between Conor and Buckley is that Conor can he absorbs the whole that moment and the chaos and the pressure way better than a guy like Buckley. Like, Buckley even mentioned, like, in his last fight, that he wasn't that he wanted it badly because he didn't want to mess up like what just got built, like, in the last couple of weeks when he had the highlight reel. So
no, I was just making the Buckley reference just as like for fun gigs,
Yeah.
But I think a title defense, the way Khabib was saying that he needed Tony Ferguson for his legacy, Conor needs a title defense for his legacy. He needs it. He's gonna be considered one of the greatest of all time simply because of what he did for the sport. Mm-hmm. But is he gonna be considered one of the greatest champions of all time? No. Yeah, you were the first two-weight champion that got stripped the next day. That don't really mean nothing. You're always gonna have those little things, those little asterisks like John Jones has on his. Conor's great. We all know he's great. But was he ever really a champion? I don't know. He beat a lot of great guys, but was he ever a champion? Yeah, that's a good point. You put him in the same conversation as GSP? Could you put him in the same conversation as Anderson Silva, as John Jones? No. He doesn't in any promotion he's ever fought for. He doesn't have one title defense.
You're right. Even
he's won a lot of gold, but he hasn't kept a lot of gold. Hasn't kept any.
Yeah.
He needs that defense. He needs to show. He needs it for his fans, and he needs it for him. He needs to show us that he can be a champion and he can take the oncomers. He could take the new Connors down. He could take the hungry guys down that are coming for him. Because the guys coming for him now, though he fights a lot of killers, a lot of guys just want to fight him for clout. And you ask anybody, yeah, of course I'll take that fight. That's a payday.
Yeah.
But like the guys that are coming for the belt are different breeds. So I don't know. I think he needs it.
Oh yeah. By the way, I think I would ideal for me would be for Khabib to go 30-0 because of since his father wanted him to get to that point. Like, I think that means a lot to him. And they made that little animated thing, the animated video, like you know what I mean. So I want to see that actually. Oh man, I want to actually I want to see that actually come to fruition. And then we get to have a piece of history that has never been created.
Remember how I said how there was one thing I wanted for Khabib and one thing I wanted for me? Is that both? Is that both for you? That's exactly what you want also? Or do you actually want Conor to beat Khabib?
Listen, So
Like,
like,
what do you want as a fan of MMA? Fuck what Khabib has gone through. Fuck his legacy. You as a fan of MMA, what do you want?
yeah, that's a good point. So
Not thinking about your sympathies for Khabib.
all right,
What does
so
Rose want?
all right, so for me, like I can't lie, it would be extremely epic if Connor actually proved that Khabib wasn't fighting the real Connor. Yes, you understand? Like, I mean, how, that like I can't imagine anything more epic than that.
Oh,
That, you
that'd
know,
be
like
crazy.
you literally like slaying a god. Like, this is not David
Yeah.
versus Goliath. This is David versus God. Like,
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? So, like,
yeah.
No bullshit.
Yeah,
dog.
man. That's a great point, actually. Yeah, that is a good point. Seeing Connor actually like seeing Connor as grand as he already is, seeing him like defeat the undefeated, unstoppable Khabib on his return.
And withstanding, remember, getting tested also is important. Not just start.
Yeah.
He needs to get taken down by Khabib. He needs to get up. He needs to piece him up, like all that. Go through the fire and beat that man.
Yeah.
Feeling what he brings to people, you know.
here's the thing too. It's not just a David versus God type of situation. The thing is, like, it's not like Khabib is just some hungry lion without empire, like one of those hungry lions who are coming up. It's one of those like Mr. T and Rocky type of situation. This is like two kings who have built empires. Kings who have built empires.
Different types of empires, but just empires the same.
Different type of empires. So you're watching two kings get in there, like for the last time.
Literally, yeah.
Two kings.
It's a great way to put it.
So you understand what I'm saying? So that
Mayday.
Someone just break in.
So that's what makes it. That's what makes it even more epic. So I'd be lying. Like, honestly, I'd be lying to myself if I said that I'd want to see any matchup besides those two. Now, what should happen, like who deserves it, is a different story. But
that's a great way to put it, though. They could literally market it as MMA royalty. That's what that's fight
royalty,
would be.
straight up royalty.
You know, because you have the conservative, humble. I beat everyone and anything that passes my way, and I don't need clout for it. I just do what I do. And you have the guy that has literally changed the sport for so many people because he brung the entertainment on top of that. You know, you got the guy who eats pressure for breakfast and good-looking guy, and with the Irish people behind him, and making everyone more money for it, which is great for the sport. Khabib doesn't do that.
Oh yeah.
Connor does that. Connor has made many people's paychecks more than what they were before. And Connor is a very, very 90% big reason for that. And then you have Khabib, who's the guy that he doesn't need to talk or nothing like that. You put him in front of me and I'll fucking mold him, and that's it. Like you have two different empires, like you said. That's literally MMA royalty right there. That's a beautiful way to put it.
Khabib should come out for that fight, be like, "You are not king, you are Burger King," and then cuts to Connor's Burger King commercial, just like that. That's the only promo needed.
To fight your chicken.
He's not lightweight king. He's Burger King. I gotta point out, right? Khabib is he's very funny. It's like he's
hilarious.
I can argue that he's one of the funniest guys in MMA because he has some crazy one. Without trying. It's just that he's so real that the comedy comes out. Like I'll name a few one-liners. So he said, "We have to settle this beef or chicken." Right? That's one of them. That's one of them. Then he said, "He's not lightweight king, he's Burger King." That's another one. then the other one was when he beat he said, "This guy is real Brooklyn gangster. This other guy wants to fight with boss." So that's what I'm saying. Like, he has these crazy one-liners.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason why he's so funny is because what he's saying is so real. You know what I'm saying? Like you make a quote out of everything he said. You could make a quote out of so many things he says, like send me location, like all this other stuff.
They have.
You know what I mean?
That's one of the best-selling T-shirts out there. Send me location.
That's what I'm saying.
It was crazy.
Now,
or remember also he was like, Ireland. He's like, like 9 million people say he's like Russia, 150
Yeah,
million
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Like,
He just one ups him. He just one ups him on every level.
Honestly, so as far as in terms of mainstream appeal, I think that Khabib counter 2 brings a mainstream audience. Like it's best for that situation. As far as casual fans getting involved, a bigger audience, I think that fight brings together everybody. You know what I mean? Especially during COVID and everything. I think that would be a huge, massive fight. But I feel like Oliveira deserves that
100%.
shot.
100%. I think Conor needs to start Dustin and fight either the winner of Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler, or just fight another top 5 contender, whatever the case may be, and then fights Khabib after that. I think Khabib should go 31-0. I think it'd be the perfect culmination because we get Conor fighting more. You get Khabib here for another fight, and then he can finally say, it is what it is.
That's it.
I beat your chicken again.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm good. Have a great night. All the best to Conor. Now that I'm gone, you can have the belt. Like on some G shit.
Oh,
Like,
man.
that'd be the craziest shit.
Savage.
But okay, last question. What's more impressive for Khabib to beat Conor again or for him to beat a young winning streak Charles Oliveira?
It's a tough question to answer because if you're talking about impressive, what Conor brings is like, Khabib is not a spotlight guy and Conor brings that heavy. So, and as much as I say constantly, like Conor was just too emotionally involved in that lead up, Khabib was emotional too. You saw Khabib, every time he was around Conor, he was pissed. And that's not him, he wasn't himself also. But that's because of what Conor brings. It's always more impressive to beat a person like Conor.
That is
just
true.
because of everything that comes with it. Everything that comes with it.
To add to his points, to piggyback the point is the fact that you're fighting Conor and you're fighting the pressure like at the same time. So even when Conor's not on his A game, like Khabib, like if you really think about it, when he fought Conor, even though he washed Conor, it still wasn't as bad as you thought that it could be with Khabib on top of Conor. You know what I'm saying? Like Conor didn't have a crazy amount of damage done to him. So that lets me know that Khabib wasn't like at the top of his game. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like he some of that got to him because you saw he ran out the cage.
He was kind of rushing to try to get him out of there because he didn't want to be in there with him.
Yeah.
It's not
like he went for his ankle.
He just didn't want to be there.
Exactly. Like he went for his ankle immediately. like as soon as that fight started, as soon as the bell. So I don't know.
I think
it's probably more impressive. Huh?
I think a win over Oliveira would be more impressive for Khabib. We've seen Khabib dispatch Conor. I feel like that fight goes the same exact way. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that fight goes the same way a second time. Conor's going to get taken down. He's going to get smushed by Khabib. Same thing. I think Oliveira is the most dangerous. He's Tony 2.0. He's on a crazy win streak. If Khabib gets that 30-0 with a win over Oliveira, for the fans, it might not be the most impressive, but you know what? To like people that actually watch the sport, I think that'd be more impressive.
And his peers. So it would be, I think it would be more impressive maybe to his peers, like his MMA peers.
Yeah.
But as far as
I disagree.
I
disagree completely. Even his peers understand what comes with fighting Conor, especially what he went through this past year, all the emotions he's still probably having every time, he thinks about his late father, it's going to be a tough one. And then all the shit that Khabib's going to talk during, and then just the way Khabib is all about respect and what he's had to deal with. That's what I'm like, if we get Conor Khabib again, which I really wouldn't mind, obviously, but if we get it again, I don't want all that bullshit, Conor's going to talk his shit, but talk shit like Conor does. We love the way Conor talks shit because it's fun. He's just picking that shit about you to get a rise out of you. Whereas, like, it got personal with Khabib, and I don't want that again, bro. You don't need to get personal with Khabib. He's fucking nicest guy you ever met. Jesus. And even while you was talking wild shit about him, he said some nice things about you. It's just relax.
All right.
Let's let the fighting talk in the cage.
Well, that wraps it up for today. That was completely insane last night, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna have more insanity. I don't know about more insanity, but I'm sure we'll have about close, maybe as much insanity coming next Saturday. So
The next time we're here,
Right.
we're gonna be discussing the Kings fight. I'm very
All
excited.
right. Peace out, everybody.
absolutely.
See you
Peace
guys.
out.